morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Inside Scoop. Trust everyone had a good Thanksgiving. As I mentioned before, we often tape early, and this week we're actually taping the Monday before Thanksgiving, but since it's not Wednesday, it's now Saturday, and Thanksgiving was Thursday, and I know people was all shopping Friday for Black Friday. I hope you survived Black Friday and had a good Thanksgiving dinner. Now that we've gotten through with confusing you to death, welcome to the Inside Scoop. It's my guest here, Joey. How you doing, Joe? Good to see you.
Right.
Eagerly anticipating Red Sox season, are we?
Yeah.
After seeing that Patriots game, I would too. The Patriots did not look good this week. They looked a little tough. So what do you think? How's this shaping up for this Survivor Series?
We got two war game matches, and plus we got one title on the line.
Yep, we'll get to that in a few minutes. Let's start off our usual way. I know we have a shorter list than usual today with celebrity birthdays and local birthdays and family birthdays.
I wish my roommate and friend a happy belated birthday from last Friday.
Yep.
Which was also the anniversary of the JFK assassination.
I didn't know that.
Yep, November 22nd.
Yeah, our good friend Jay Scanlon, the brother of one of our co-hosts, Steve and John,
and the father of the other
of our other co-host, Emily. So Jay Scanlon, I hope you had a good. How old is Jay now?
40.
Oh yeah, Jay turned 40. The big 40. He's the youngest of the family, I believe.
Yep.
He's the one that Joey lives with.
Yep.
Lives close. I know Jay had a nice party. I saw something on Facebook. I wasn't invited, so. A little zinger there, but I wasn't invited to any celebration for him, so I hope he had a good time. I know he works hard, he works crazy hours, so usually works overnights. It's just tough hours to work. Well, Joe, another birthday, I think I neglected to mention this. I'm going back a few weeks. October 15th was my dad's birthday, and we also had last show, an anniversary I want to mention. I want to make a special mention to. I mentioned to on the way down. A man by the ring name of the Boston bad boy Tony Rumble. Well, I know his real name was Tony Migliaro. For those who don't know, Century Wrestling on New England, NWA New England. Tony Migliaro, Boston bad boy Tony Rumble, was one of the reasons why I got into wrestling over 40 years ago. And I can't believe it's been 25 years since we lost Tony. Some of you might remember Tony from Channel 25 when he did the shows on TV. He was the Boston bad boy Tony Rumble. He'd wear the Red Sox helmet. He always wore it backwards, and he had his show. Good local wrestler, great guy in person. I can't believe it's been 25 years since he passed. I remember the 1 year anniversary, going to a dinner for him over in Malden. I was approached by legendary announcer who's from New England here now. He was just starting out himself, Rich Palladino, and says, I knew Tony well, and I was asked to say a few words at his commencement dinner, which really was an honor to say something. And if I remember, I'll briefly go into what I said. I'll summarize this in about 45 seconds or so. Tony loved to make people smile. That was my thing I said about Tony. If you hated Tony at the end of the match, but you liked the card, and he was smiling at the end of the show because he knew he did his job. If you loved Tony and loved the way he wrestled, but you left that show smiling, happy, Tony knows he did his job. He was a great guy to work with, very friendly out of the ring, very loving man. I mean, a local wrestler by the name of Slick Wagner Brown had his first match against Tony. And I think I mentioned to you this before. You know what? Maybe you don't remember it because maybe you weren't on the show then. Tony's first match was against, do you know? You wouldn't know because you didn't know Tony. Abdul the Butcher. Get tougher than that for your first match. He really didn't know how to hit the ropes yet. Abdul gave him a lesson, gave him a whooping like you wouldn't believe. But he overcame and lasted. And rest in peace, Tony Miguel, the Boston Bad Boy, Tony Rumble. Okay, now let's go on to some more positive things, and then we'll go into the one celebrity death that we have written down this week.
I got 5 birthdays here. First is the former WCW referee Nick Patrick.
Nick Patrick.
November 9th, he's 65.
Wow, Nick Patrick is 65. Considered the bad guy referee from years ago. All the time, he always favored the rule breaker.
Yeah, especially the NWO. Next is Tensai/Albert.
Hey, interesting. Tony Miguel's commencement dinner. Guess who was there?
I just read.
Tensai Albert was at that dinner 4 years ago. I met him that day. Mike Bloom's his real name.
November 14th, 52.
Yeah, that's about right for Albert. Big kid, huge in person, extremely quiet man though. Very huge man though.
The Macho Man's former wife and manager,
Elizabeth Hewitt. That was actually mentioned by my good friend Nick Salagastro on his site. Put something out there for Elizabeth Hewitt.
November 19th.
Yep, of course, we lost Elizabeth. It's been over almost 10 years now, isn't it, since we lost Elizabeth? I believe.
Next is Shane Douglas.
Shane Douglas, local kid. I saw him wrestle a few times locally when he went on to big times.
And I know he wrestled for ECW and WWE.
Yes, he did.
He was Dean Douglas in WWE.
Yes.
November 21st, 60.
He's my age. Shane Douglas has been around for a long time. I don't think he still works anymore. I haven't seen him in years.
And the next one is a double birthday. The Bella twins.
Oh, okay. Nikki and Bree.
Yeah.
The Garcia sisters, as they're really known as.
November 21st, 41.
No, I know. On the side note, I think Nikki's having trouble with her marriage.
Yeah, I think she's
getting divorced or got divorced. She should have married John Cena, but oh well. John married someone else.
That's all I got left of that.
That's not for birthdays today. It wasn't many. You got something else?
Did you want to mention the death?
Well, yeah. Well, we ain't really been into the death, but we'll jump into that now, Joe. Joe's jumping the gun here. You got somebody you have to go?
No.
Probably back to sleep if I know Joe. It's early for us taping. But the one death I know, we just lost, I think, a game show icon. I mean, really, he was around for many years. Who first started Wheel of Fortune?
Back in the 1970s.
Yep. And who did the infamous Love Connection? And Lingo?
Yep.
And a version of Scrabble?
Yep, I remember that.
Yeah, I remember him on Lingo, and I remember him on Love Connection. Who hasn't used the expression? I mean, there isn't a DJ out there who hasn't used the expression right back in 2 and 2. He was the first one to say that. Be back in 2 minutes, 2 seconds when you go into a commercial.
I remember who his letter turner was. Susie Stafford.
Yes.
You can see some old episodes on. You look right up on YouTube. You can find old game show episodes on there.
You probably could.
And I've seen quite a few on the old game shows I grew up seeing.
His first letter turner was Susie. I thought Susie Stafford, was she on Lingo with him? I forget who was on Lingo with him.
No, I think it was someone younger.
I forget her name. But there was a girl named Andy who did Andy something, red hair, who started out in Wheel of Fortune. She only lasted like 5 or 6 episodes, and then she left the show. I think that's when Susie Stafford took over, before Vanna White. But if folks who haven't figured it out yet, the legendary Chuck Worley passed away.
We lost two legendary game show hosts this year.
Why am I drawing a blank? Oh, of course, Alex Trebek.
He was a few years on. The one we lost earlier this year was the original Hollywood Squares host.
Oh, yeah, Peter Marshall. Peter was in his 90s? And that,
yeah.
Yeah, how can I forget Peter Marshall? I used to love watching the Hollywood Squares growing up. Who was the son of Square?
Paul Lynde.
Paul Lynde. down right-hand corner,
Goebel.
George Goebel all the time.
Yeah, Dick Van Dyke's what's her name? It's Marie.
Rosemary.
Rosemary, yeah.
Rosemary was up middle square, up top all the time. She was on the
There
show.
was Charlie Weaver and
Charlie Weaver was down the right corner.
what's that guy there? There was another guy. I can't remember his name. He was like a small guy with glasses.
Adi Johnson?
No, it was
Okay.
I know.
I'm drawing Wally Cox.
Yeah.
Wally Cox was up a left-hand corner for the first couple of years. Yes, there's a name from your past. I bet there's people, some of our fans out there yelling that name. Going, Wally Cox. We described him with the thick black glasses, and he was actually the voice of Underdog. Was he not originally?
I think so, yeah.
Yes. He was the original voice of Underdog, and then they changed to someone else. Thank you for bringing that up.
I bet he also appeared in an episode of Lost in Space, too.
Wally Cox did, yes. I'm not sure which one. I don't
It was
remember.
a season 2 episode. I forgot. I think it was called Forbidden Planet. I think it was called.
Okay, because I haven't watched them in a while. I do. You told me you want them all on CD. I have them all on VHS. I know. I think I mentioned that once on our show years ago that I wanted to have Mark Goddard sign them up, but Mark passed away because he was actually teaching at Marshfield High School. I wanted to have him sign all my copies of VHS tapes, and I was going to donate them to the school and have him raffle them off or something, because they'd be the memorabilia signed by him, but it didn't work out.
He was one of my cousin's teachers in Brockton.
Yeah, he's a great teacher. He's local. He lived local man. Mark Goddard was a great science teacher. Ironically, he was a science teacher. Great teacher. I didn't know you mentioned, that's the first time you mentioned that to me, Joe. He was one of your cousin's teachers.
Yeah.
Which cousins? Do I know of?
Marty's ex.
Oh, Kim. It was Kim's.
Yeah.
Yep. Our old friend Marty Peasley's wife. Ex-wife, Kim. We're married to him for, what, 16, it's almost 17 years.
Yeah.
It's a tough subject for me. Marty's kind of moved on in life, and I haven't talked to him. Well, we have a couple minutes here. Let's go into what we have for Survivor Series and kind of update things a little bit.
One of them, first part of the list of women's war games match returned not this past Monday, but Monday, week before.
Yep.
Let's start with, then Halika, she's out with and they got to replace one person.
Yes, we discussed that earlier, but we'll replace that. We'll talk about that when we get to that team.
We're on that team now. Bianca Belair.
Yeah, Bianca Belair was supposed to work with Jade Cargill, but Jade actually has a legitimate injury. I read it online. That wasn't just a ruse. They kind of overplayed it a little bit on TV, but she had a legitimate injury. She needs a little time off. I expect to see her back at Royal Rumble, but needs a little time to heal up.
Io Sky.
Which is, she's turning complete face now. It looks like they're turning face.
Yeah, I've had one of her teammates return recently, too.
Oh, yeah.
Dakota Kai.
Dakota Kai came back. I'm not sure what's up with Oscar, but that's the story together. I think we mentioned that, what happened to Oscar.
Naomi's
another teammate.
And the returning Rhea Ripley.
Rhea Ripley, she has a face mask on, a.k.a. same as Brutus Beefcake had it on one time, so The Undertaker had a mask on like that.
So did Trish Stratus.
Yes. I forgot about Trish. Now, who's going to replace Cargill? I've read online who I think it is, but I'm going to give you who I think it should be. First, I know it's Bayley. Bayley should be, because she's been having a quarrel back and forth with the other team. It should be Charlotte Flair. I think Charlotte would be a great fit for that team. Same strength, power, ability as Jade Cargill. But it's going to be Bayley, the seasoned veteran, I think, who's going to take that spot. I personally think the other team's going to win that match, though. Now, you can mention the members of the other team.
Yeah, the other side is the women's champ. SmackDown women's champ, I should correct myself. Nia Jax.
Yep.
Raquel Rodriguez.
Who's tough. Tough wrestler.
The Raw women's champ, Liv Morgan. Candice LeRae. And Tiffy time.
Yep. Does Tiffy cash in? We all think this every time. Does Tiffy cash in her Money in the Bank somehow during that match? Or at the end of that match? Do you think? Do you think she would do that? It's possible because it's coming up soon. I mean, she only has until
a few hours away.
No, WrestleMania to cash it in.
Oh.
I think it's WrestleMania.
No, Money in the Bank.
Okay.
They used to have the Money in the Bank matches at WrestleMania until they gave it its own pay-per-view.
Okay. But that's something interesting. And I'm sure you're going to pick the Good Girls team, which is a great team, great wrestling team, but I just have a feeling the loss of Jade Cargill is going to really hurt that team.
We're giving predictions several hours before the pay-per-view. Next, we got the men's War Games. We got Roman Reigns, Jay and Jimmy Uso, Sami Zayn, and the surprise.
The surprise that shocked me on Raw. The person who's on that team is good. He's a great wrestler. CM Punk's a phenomenal athlete. I was kind of hoping they'd say Brock Lesnar because he's good friends with Paul Heyman too, but they didn't. I mean, that shocked me when they said CM Punk. It really did.
Oh yeah, also Return of the Wise Man.
Yeah, the return of Paul Heyman, who's been gone for about 6 months with the injury and just took some time off, and I know he was on a little contract. He renewed his contract, so.
And I had read online that he's been backstage at a few of the shows, even the pay-per-view, last pay-per-view, he's been backstage.
And they're going against
Solo Sikoa, Tama Tonga, Jacob Fatu, Bronson Reed, and Tonga Loa.
The Bronson Reed and that team makes that team twice as tough. Bronson's been really, let's say, the best way to describe him lately is nasty. He's demolishing people. When he first came out, he just annihilated the other team. He's strong man. You have to kind of compare that. Is CM Punk as tough as Bronson Reed? I don't know about that one. I mean, CM can handle a good fight, but Bronson's been destroying people. I think if Braun Strowman was healthy, Braun Strowman would have been on the other team. But Braun's probably still not healthy. He's still nursing an injury. I know he is.
Unless Seth Rollins gets involved.
I don't know about that one. That's a tough one.
Is he still got a feud with Seth Rollins right now?
Yep. But Seth says he'll never work with Roman Reigns again. He doesn't like him. He doesn't want to make him a martyr. He doesn't like working. He doesn't want to work with a tyrant. He become a tyrant again. They both, when they mentioned each other's names, Roman Reigns gave a look, and Seth Rollins gave an emphatic no. I mean, they asked LA Knight, would he do it? And he's like, no, I've moved on. I don't want to deal with it right now. I have my own things to deal with. I'm dealing with the U.S. title. He's got his own little tete-a-tete coming. I think I'm not sure if they've announced the match yet, but you could almost think they're going to with Shinsuke Nakamura.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he returned.
Yep, Shinsuke's back after about 7 or 8 months away.
He looks like he's got face paint, but you can't really tell with the hair over his face. Yeah,
he's kind of changed his look. He changed his, the red outfit he used to have on. He's all black now. He's still playing the crazy little bit demented character and cutting his promos and what have you, and attacking LA. I think LA Knight and him is a fantastic wrestling match. 2 completely different styles of wrestling. But I think that'd be a really good match. Excellent match. If I had to pick someone in that match, I'd probably stay with LA Knight because they can keep that going with Shinsuke. Mentioned something else too. There's a tournament going on, I guess, for the new
women's U.S. title,
yep.
United States title.
Yep.
On SmackDown.
That's on SmackDown, and that looks good. And, I know a couple of people who already qualified for that is Chelsea Green, unfortunately. But it is what it is. I mean, she won her match. Who's the other person? Do you know? I don't even. I'm asking you because I'm not gonna lie to you. I forget. I totally forgot. Old age, folks. It's happening to me too. Don't worry about it. I'm forgetting the name of who won the match. Who won the other match? Who's also won that match? I know there's someone else there, but I forget who it was. Is it Naomi or one of them two or something like that? No, I don't remember. I know that's still ongoing, and NXT has a new female North American championship going back and forth. Oh, I forgot to mention this too, and this is to go back to the other subject before. There is another rumor spreading who might go on the other team, but I can't see her going on the face team. Lash Legend, I think she's going into the other tournament though. She's going into the North American NXT tournament. Lash Legend is taking the spot of somebody who got hurt from NXT. You don't watch NXT, I watch it once in a while, so. For those who probably all screaming into TVs now, who do watch NXT faithfully. Well, I know our last show we had my good friend Corey on. We'll see Corey again, folks. Don't worry, we've already discussed about having Corey maybe even once a month for a while. Corey lives local. I love a guy who has the knowledge that kid has. He really has a knowledge of wrestling, above and beyond my knowledge of wrestling. I go with him all the time to the independent shows, and we were at another independent show, our last taping, that RWA show he discussed. We know over the roster for, and this glad to announce that Mike Grosser had a good match with Danny Niles. I kind of got into a little bit of a heated discussion with Danny Niles myself, in a fun way, and because I've known Danny Niles since he was a rookie, and he's a 12, 13-year veteran now. That was a good match. Him and Mike Grosser with the main event. Excellent wrestling card. A couple hard people over the Johnston Rec Center. I know they're coming local. RWA is going to Pawtucket in January. I'll give you more information about that on our next taping. They're coming close again. So I think it's there's a church over in Pawtucket. I forget the name of the church. St. Angelo's? I'm always guessing that. So I was only there once before. It was a great venue, but it's nice and close. Come see a great RWA card. Last time we were there, we really had a good time. One of these days, Joey, we're going to drag you to one of these independent shows.
And the final match I got on the list is the world title, Gunther against Damian Priest.
That's a tough match. I think it could be that could possibly be a great match back and forth where they both can work. I think Gunther wins that, but I'm not sure if it's because his cohort gets involved, which I think is going to happen. I think it's going to be people getting involved in that match. I think Dirty Dom will come out and get involved in that match somehow, and I think Ludwig Kaiser will get involved and hurt Priest. I don't know who would help Priest. I don't know if he can get any help. But I think someone's going to get involved in that match because that could be a really good wrestling match back and forth. I think Gunther wins the match, but I think he gets a little help. I kind of see it that way on TV. I don't know if you agree with that or not. I know you want Damian Priest to win because you always go with the.
Well, it seems like Damian Priest has got his number somehow.
Yeah.
Like got him nervous and.
Well, we come up with this subject just about every show. And I want to continue with that subject. Hall of Famers. Who belongs in the Hall of Fame that we haven't mentioned yet? In your opinion?
How about the Rougeau brothers?
The Rougeau brothers, that's an interesting one. I have a feeling they may be getting nominated. That's a good one. The Rougeau brothers they could possibly get into the Hall of Fame. I could see that happening, most definitely. The Rougeau brothers. That wouldn't surprise me. How about the Headbangers? No, I'm talking.
Oh yeah.
Tama Tonga's father and.
Oh, the Head Shrinkers.
Yeah, the Head Shrinkers, not Headbangers.
The Headbangers are Mosh and whatever his
I don't know. I forget if he's no loss. I was supposed to meet him one time, and the wrestling show got canceled, so I didn't see them. Another one I know, I don't know if I've ever mentioned it out loud, but I've mentioned it here, was referee Dick Worley, I think belongs in the Hall of Fame. They kind of side put Tim White in, but he's another one. How about celebrity-wise? Do you think of maybe another celebrity that? Snoop Dogg's in, isn't he?
I think so. We already kept mentioning one already.
Oh yeah, we've been mentioning her for years. I think Cyndi Lauper should be already in the Hall of Fame, but she should already be in there a long time ago.
How about the guy that sang Triple H's entrance music?
Luddy, he said.
Lemmy?
Yeah, Lemmy from.
Radiohead? No, was it Radiohead? No. Metal? No. It was some. I know it was something ahead.
Motorhead. Yeah, Lemmy's passed now, but put him in posthumously. He should be posthumously. Sorry, humorous. Humorous.
We mentioned him last week.
Yes,
last time.
Yeah, last show. Humorous had the birthday, Bill DeMont. So I don't want you much open time here, but can you think of anybody else, Joe?
I'm thinking.
I know Rick Martel's in. Renee Goulet is in. Don Morocco is definitely in. He went in the senior, I think, is Bobby Heenan.
How about LOD's manager? Paul
Waring he's another interesting thought. That's a good thought. He was a great manager.
One of his teams is already in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, so the Legion of Doom, but Paul Waring never went in. Paul should be in the Hall of Fame, and we've got a lot of managers in there now. We've got Bobby Heenan, we've got Lou Albano, we've got Freddie Blassie's in there.
Miss Elizabeth? No, she's not in there. Sorry, I forgot.
She's not in. That's another interesting person you could possibly put into the Hall of Fame is Miss Elizabeth. I don't believe she's in. If she is, I don't remember her going in. Slick's in. He's in the Hall of Fame, right?
Yeah. I'm not sure of that.
The Reverend Slick. I don't know if Jim Cornette's in yet, but he's another one you could think about. Wow, I can't believe you look up at the time here. This half hour's already passed. Wow. Yeah. Well, I want to wish everyone out there, I hope you had a great Thanksgiving. I want to thank AACS for having us, our director for directing us. I want to thank all you folks out there who've been loyal to us this year. I hope you all have a safe, happy Thanksgiving. I hope your turkey's moist. Thank you for not saying lastly. I have to mention lastly. Take care. Thank you.